Just want to provide an example of how we're using Kurzweil 3000 version 12.01 in an adult education context to assist learners. So what I've done here is opened up a handout. It's a PDF on fine motor development, 0 to 6 years for some early childhood education courses. So what I did was just went under open here, and I can select actually the actual file, and it'll take a couple minutes to actually load up and process. So right now, this is what the learner would be having in front of them. One of the simple things they could do is click read.
The development of fine motor skills. When most people think of their child's growth and development, they can remember the ages at which their child first rolled, crawled, or walked.
So it highlights the main sentence, and then each word will actually come up in green, as it shows here as they're reading it. And I can control the actual speed as well here.
How many can recall the age at which they picked up small items between their thumb and index finger?
And there's different voices you can choose. The VW Julie seems to work well, but of course you can just go through and pick which ones work better for your learners. The other options you can do is have them click on any word, then click on definition, for example. That'll bring up the definition of the words. Or they can actually click on, for example, syllables. And it'll read that off to them as well. Some of the other neat features you can do is actually go in here and kind of contextualize this for the learner. So what I mean is we can add some questions and some bubble notes, what we call them, and different sticky notes to the document. So if I click up here under Tools and then go to Note, I can add a bubble note in. So for example, I could do some prior learning and ask the question before they even start the document. So I'm going to hit cancel here, and right at the top before they even begin the document, I can ask the question. So I'm going to go Tools, Note, Add Bubble Note. Oh. Okay. So I'm going to have a text answer question. What is fine motor skills? What is a fine motor skill? And I'll just leave the answer open, and they'll be able to fill this in, and it'll provoke some prior learning engagement. So I'll give you an example. Hit OK, and then I'm going to have them read. So the student would be reading along, and it's going to ask, what is a fine motor skill? They can now put an answer in. So they don't need to know the answer, but it provokes a bit of a thought question. And hit OK. So what you do is you can insert these bubbly notes, and I can put another one, for example, at 0 to 4 months. Between 0 and 4 months, your baby move their arms and hands together. So I could insert, for example, another true and false into here. So I can say at 4 months, your child will move arms and legs together, and I can leave it open and hit OK. So again, they can be reading this, and then the question emerges, and they can answer it. So I'll hit OK, and then I answered my other bubbly note here as well. When the student's done, what you can do, or what they can do, is go up to File here and hit Extract, and extract notes and highlights. So if we select just bubble notes here, what this will do is extract it to a separate file. So now we have all of the questions we've put in and their responses. So it's just a quick way to do some active, engaged type of lessons for the learner. So they're active reading and doing a little bit of formative kind of assessment on their own sake as they go through the document. Other notes you can do within Kurzweil is to go into the writing. So here's blank, and I can turn on word prediction as well. So as we're talking, I can type there and see how it shows both options. What they can do now is it'll say the word and give a bit of a description with it as well. And you can select it. So it kind of aids in their spelling, and plus it'll help narrow down into which words you could possibly be using. The other option you can do for writing is to do an actual outline. So as you would suspect, you have your main idea, then they can have supporting points. And they can continue on as well. And this can help, just a simple way to get a bit of categorization in for their writing. The other option would be to have a brainstorm. So when you click over to brainstorm, it automatically starts your concept map. And of course, you can add to it as well. Just like that, sorry. And just a few tools to really aid. Depends on the learner, depends on the situation, but a few writing skills and reading skills and active reading tips you can use with your learners.